This is a message for all our members working in schools. My name is Paul Couchman, and I'm the Surrey UNISON Branch Secretary. You might work in a Surrey maintained school, a foundation or academy school, or an independent or free school. I'm speaking to you as there are a number of potential changes to pay, terms and conditions currently being considered, some of which will affect all school support staff. Some of these changes are immediate, and others, being considered by the government, will probably come in 2 to 3 years' time. Changes to Surrey pay arrangements. Members working in a Surrey County Council maintained school. Unison have negotiated on pay directly with Surrey County Council since 1997, with locally agreed pay arrangements covering all support staff working in those schools. This year, SCC have made an offer to the trade unions to match whatever is awarded to local government workers nationally by the National Joint Council, that's the NJC. The offer also includes an extra day's annual leave. School staff on term time only contracts would get the equivalent increase in pay via changes to the denominator used to calculate their annual leave. The aim is to transition from locally agreed pay over to the NJC in 2026. The extra day's leave will be backdated to January the 1st, 2025. It's important to note that the NJC pay negotiations take a lot longer than we're used to in Surrey, and we could potentially not get a final settlement until much later in the year. Whatever is agreed nationally will be backdated to the 1st of April, as always. The NJC, which covers most councils in the country, has its own pay scales and terms and conditions. If we agree to move on to the NJC in 2026, it would be on the basis of no detriment in pay, terms and conditions. So whilst the current SCC grading scheme would be replaced by that of the NJC, workers would transfer in 2026 onto a grade which is at least equal to or better than the one they are currently on. Our members in SCC schools were balloted on this offer recently and have voted overwhelmingly to accept. You can read more about the NJC by Googling it or looking on the National Unison website under Council and School Pay. Members working in a foundation or academy school. Many, but not all, academies and foundation schools have adopted the Surrey pay model. It's likely, but not guaranteed, that these schools will also follow the process above, mirroring the NJC pay award this year. What is less clear is whether they will follow Surrey schools onto the NJC in 2026. Academies and foundation schools make their own decisions on pay, terms and conditions. One or two already follow the NJC. Staff who have transferred to academies under the TUPE regulations would still have their terms and conditions frozen at the point when they transferred. And members in independent and free schools, these schools are totally independent of SCC, are privately funded and have their own processes to determine support staff pay, terms and conditions. These schools will not be impacted by any transfer from Surrey pay to the NJC. The new School Support Staff Negotiating Body, the SSNB. This will affect almost all school support staff. Through the Employment Rights Bill, the government has published its intention to recognise the value and professionalism of the whole school workforce by reinstating the SSNB, which would represent a statutory national pay body for all school support staff. The SSNB was abolished by the previous government in 2010. Private schools and free schools are unlikely to be included. The SSNB will be made up of representatives of employers, unions and an independent chairperson, and will be tasked with making sure support staff are paid fairly and have access to training and career progression opportunities. To ensure all school staff have access to fair pay and conditions, the SSNB will apply to support staff in almost every type of school. The trade unions who will represent school support staff in the SSNB will be Unison, GMB and Unite. The government will consult on the detail as part of the legislative process. These negotiations are taking place at a national level and are not likely to come into place for at least a couple of years. Please do email unison@surreycc.gov.uk if you have any questions. Surrey County UNISON are well aware of how complicated and potentially confusing this is, and we are here to try to answer your questions as best we can. It's always best to have an elected UNISON representative in every school, so information can be shared quickly and efficiently with members. If you might be interested in this role, please email Tracy Baker, tracy@surreycountyunison.org.uk. Tracy is our school support staff convener or lead representative. As I say, if you have any questions, please do get in touch. It is a complicated time, and we look forward to hearing from you.